Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Draftkings has about 70,000 slates this weekend for the NFL playoffs wild card round. We're going to take a look at the Saturday slate. Okay, it's a 2-game slate. There is a millionaire maker for it. We're going to do the Sunday slate. That video will come out tomorrow, the 3-game slate. They also have a 6-game slate that overarches the entire weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday night game. They're going to have showdown slates for every single one. It's impossible for me to get out all the videos. And you know what? Just to make it more interesting, there's different salaries for the players on the 6-game slate than there are in the 2 and the 3-game slate. And obviously, showdown has its own thing. So from a content creator's perspective, it's an absolute freaking nightmare. So thank you, Mr. Draftkings. I appreciate that. I really don't appreciate that. I don't mean it. That was sarcasm. So we're going to take a look at the 2-game slate on Saturday. We're going to look at both of the games. I'm going to break down all the players, and then we're going to take a look through the Fantasy Labs lineup builder and see what we can do with that. So let's go.
He's a legend.
We all year have been playing Pick'em on Underdog Fantasy. They still have that if you wanted to take a look at the Pick'em stuff that they have. As the weekend approaches, these will probably be more populated. You can always play Pick'em, and they now have playoff best ball. Get in where you fit in. They have the $5 mitten. They've already filled 2 of these. It's a $100,000 best ball tournament for the playoffs. You draft 10 rounds. They have the gauntlet, which is a $25 entry fee. And if you're a big baller, they got the big mitten. See, it's a bigger mitten than this one. This mitten bigger than this one. 6 teams draft 10 rounds each, a lot of money all the way up top. And if you enjoyed playing best ball during the season, you can still draft teams for the playoffs. Use promo code smizzle, one word. It's right there along the top. If you wanted to see how to use that, you get a deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit $100, they will give you another $100 for free that you can then use on Pick'em or any one of these best ball drafts. So go check out the great products that they have over on Underdog Fantasy. As I said, they have about 17 million slates. We're going to focus on the 2-game slate. They have a millionaire maker on both Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to focus on the 2-game slate, full menu of items here. And the 2 games that are on that slate, going over to the Vegas page on Fantasy Labs. Go over here. It's a free page. Fantasy Labs, hover over NFL, come down here to Vegas. You can sort by any slate. We have the Bengals against the Raiders. It's going to be cold for that one. Not supposed to be much precipitation, but it is definitely going to be cold. And then we have the New England Patriots traveling to Buffalo, division rivals squaring off against one another there. So as we take a look at the salaries, we'll start at QB. And I'd have to think, even in the cold weather, Joe Burrow, they want to run the football, but we saw what Herbert did against this Las Vegas defense, and they've been very giving to opposing passing games throughout the year. And the way that they defended Kansas City, not once, but 2 times, they let you challenge deep. They let you get after it and throw downfield. And if you're going to single cover Joe Burrow's outside wide receivers with single coverage down the field, it's not great, Bob. And Burrow and this offense have been flying recently with 8 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks, 34 over the course of the regular season, 4,600 yards passing. The Bengals offense is absolutely humming. They have priced him up as the 2nd highest priced quarterback on the slate. Josh Allen with a lower team total in this game, but he has also been fantastic. And we know that more than any other quarterback the last 2 seasons, Josh Allen can entirely break a slate by himself. We saw him do it numerous times this year. Breaking a slate, to me, from a quarterback perspective, on a larger slate is way less dramatic because the band of quarterback scoring is somewhat thin. It's narrow, right? So if one quarterback has like 35 points, there's probably like 8 other quarterbacks within like 5 or 6 points of them. But on a short slate like this one, this is a Christmas type slate, a Thanksgiving type slate, for him to have 33 or 42 or 39 or 40 points, we know that he can run for multiple touchdowns. We know that the way that they run their offense, he can also throw for multiple touchdowns. Double bonus is always in play. The total in this game is lower, but I expect him and Allen to be the 2 most popular quarterbacks, with Derek Carr being the 3rd most popular in terms of player percentage. the Raiders are going to want to establish it. They are going to want to run the hell out of the football. That is their identity at this point. They know that they can throw, but they don't really have the weapons on the outside to really do very much damage consistently down the field. The Raiders offense is way more death by 1,000 paper cuts with Darren Waller back, Hunter Renfrow, who is seemingly indefensible within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, but like doesn't get much more done past that. But like, fantastic route runner, but doesn't do much else. And then the other side, the last quarterback, the lowest played one on this slate, is likely going to be Mac Jones. And I like Mac Jones from this perspective. If you believe that they're going to be playing from behind and they are underdogs in this game, then Mac Jones is going to have to theoretically throw a little bit more than they would want, right? So like they're going to have him throw it 30 to 40 something times in this game if the Bills get up 10 points. If he does that with the players that he has around him and the efficiency with which he's thrown the ball this year, the 300-yard bonus is certainly in play, but he's never going to give you very much with his legs, and it's almost impossible for him to be the standalone quarterback to break the slate. However, the price for him at 5,300 coming down from 73 or 79 allows you to fit one or two more players to improve those spots to help you get along with that lineup. At running back, Joe Mixon, obviously the prime play. As I said, it's going to be entirely cold. Cincinnati is playing at home, is favored. Joe Mixon is that guy who can get you 25 touches in a game with a lot of usage in the passing game if they have to check down against this Raiders squad. But the Bengals would like nothing more than to just put it in Joe Mixon's belly 22 plus times in this game. And you know how active he's been once they get inside the 5-yard line. On the other side of that game, Josh Jacobs, the same sort of a situation where the Raiders just want to and have to feed him if they want to have any chance of keeping Joe Burrow off the field. 26 carries in the overtime game against the Chargers. Only got 2 targets in that one. We saw 27 carries against Denver. This is who they've become. Probably the best chance at getting you the 100-yard bonus. Monitor the New England backs coming up to this game. I expect everybody to be healthy, which one makes it more of a crapshoot with Harris and Stevenson, who I think is extremely good, but when Harris is there, definitely sees way less of the amount of snaps and way less of the amount of carries. And then Bolden being the pass game option, but nowhere near as talented in the pass game as James White. So it's somewhat sporadic with how they end up utilizing him. But with the 3 guys, it's much more of a crapshoot than, say, playing Devin Singletary, who over the past month has been the guy for the Bills, who are at home and favored in this game. So your 2 5-box running backs being Singletary and Mixon, I think Jacobs is going to be extremely popular. Singletary being 5,800, I think is going to be the highest played running back of all the 4 in the slate. The most common combination is going to be Mixon plus Singletary, unless people want to get away and gamble on one of the cheaper guys like Bolden with his pass game usage in order to pay up for somebody like Jamar Chase, who has, as we've seen multiple times this year, massive game and slate breaking ability, and matched up with the way that the Las Vegas Raiders do defend, he could get loose behind this defense one time, if not more, as opposed to guys like T. Higgins, who operates a little bit more underneath, has downfield ability, but they use him on those short to intermediate routes, and Tyler Boyd running out of the slot can take a 6-yard slant to the house, a la heels and elbows himself, Odell Beckham Jr. from back in the day. Way less athletic than Odell was back in those days, but we've seen him break off a 56-yard touchdown against Denver and a 68-yard touchdown against Baltimore, because so much attention has to be paid to Jamar and to T and to Joe Mixon that Tyler Boyd just kind of gets lost in the wash and sometimes finds himself roaming free across the middle with nobody to actually stop him. Your cheaper options on this slate, Cole Beasley at 4,200, always set up to have like a 10-target game, right? They're somewhat unpredictable. Yes, he does better from a yards per attempt and a yards per catch basis when he plays against a team that plays more zone than man. But like we've seen him play New England a few times already. 3 catches against them in that week. And did he miss the other game against New England? And in past years, like New England has been a team that has frustrated him. And we know that they're going to try and take away the number 1 toy, which is Diggs, which maybe opens up Gabe Davis at 3,900, who has really blasted on the scene recently. Zay Jones playing a lot of snaps, running a lot of routes. And if you look at his target totals, he should not be 4,000. One of the best value plays, not just on Saturday, but for the entire weekend slate if you're playing that one as well. I'm not going to be doing a 6-game slate video. 06010, the CSS DFS podcast, will have that. But if you are still watching at this point in the video, thank you guys for still being here. Take a couple of seconds, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. It helps a ton, and I appreciate you guys for continuing to watch the content all through the regular season and into the playoffs. So thank y'all for being here and being a part of it. So let's get on to tight ends. There's not all that much meat on the bone at tight end. Darren Waller is priced down at 5,700 in a game where they do project to play from behind, so targets should be something that he should be able to pile up. Dawson Knox has not been as utilized late in the season as he was earlier in the season, but touchdown upside being what it is, and how much he targets, Josh Allen targets his tight ends around the goal line, certainly going to be in play. Hunter Henry has seen multiple touchdown games and has a very solid amount of targets for 4,500. You could punt with CJ Uzoma if you'd like. Let's head over to the Fantasy Labs lineup builder. I'll bring up our settings here. It's clearly going to be a different slate with a 2-game slate. So think about how you were building lineups on the Thanksgiving or the Christmas Saturday specials for those. I usually have 6 rules built in. As you can see, I have 4 of them. They're completely unchecked here. You're going to have correlation. You're going to have to allow a defense to be, you don't have to, but like you're probably going to have a defense be allowed on the same roster as an opponent that you're playing. We're going to focus on very simple correlation with this one, with pair your quarterback with a wide receiver or tight end from the same team, at least 2, exactly 2 of those, or let's say at least 2 of those, and pair your quarterback with at least 1 player from the opponent. We'll head over to general. Player versus opposing defense. We'll allow 1 player versus our opposing defense. I will allow the tight end to be there. And you're going to have to allow more max percentage for tournaments than the 130 that we typically run because it is only a 2-game slate. 500 is high. I just wanted it to be able to build lineups for us. You click generate, and it's never going to be as simple as just build lineups for a slate and just print money. You do have to put in a lot of work working on your correlation, your grouping, and everything else. But that is the simple way to go about doing it. And I wish you guys the best of luck in the first week of the playoffs. Go draft some gauntlet teams, go draft some mittens teams, and make sure that you know those lineups on Draftkings for the 2-game slate, the 6-game slate, and we'll get to the 3-game video coming up tomorrow. But until then, look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.